Alrighty, all of y'all. Welcome to the channel. If y'all are seeing this is gonna be a Merry Christmas kind of message. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about a radio host a little bit who came up with the 5 rules for better living. The radio host in question is the one and only Doc Thompson. If any of y'all have ever listened to him, y'all know he was solid as a rock. He didn't take no shit, but the man was funny and informative. And as a truck driver, I lived last 20 years listening to a whole lot of radio, and has only just recently been replaced with YouTube, because a lot of the radio hosts have either just gone away, have passed away, or a lot of them lost their damn principles too. So what I'm going to do is we're going to work through the 5 rules for better living as created by the great Doc Thompson. I'm sure somewhere online there's some archives of his old radio shows, and they may still be relevant today. Matter of fact, a lot of his libertarian speeches were. But above that, his 5 rules were extremely well thought out. And they're simple. I mean, of course, it's only 5. And there's only a couple of them that need any even minor explanation, but we're going to go through them. So let me go ahead and click here, get that, push that button because I'm not professional. And I'm going to hit boom. There we go. Rule number 1. Don't be a dick/bitch. Self-explanatory. There's reason this is rule number 1, because to be perfectly honest, if everybody in the world would follow rule number 1, I'd say at least 80 to 90% of all problems go away tomorrow. Imagine people on Twitter if they would just follow rule number 1. And see, here's the way this rule would work, and it's pretty damn simple. I mean, it's obvious, but you don't be a dick or a bitch to someone. But, the rest of the phrase, as he would say, is until they start it. So if nobody ever starts being the dick/bitch, we don't have problems. So right there, just nice and simple. Don't start nothing, but then again, you also don't be a pushover. And somebody else is being a dick, well, unfortunately, that gives you permission to, maybe forget rule number 1. But in purity, just don't be a dick or a bitch. I mean, being, joking around, whatever, that's one thing. But actually being serious, yeah, right there. Follow that rule. If you and everybody around you start following this rule, tomorrow is better, and it gets better every day. Rule number 2, keep the talent happy. And the way he described this is pretty simple. The word talent, take that word out and replace it with whatever is important at the time. Are you married? Keep the wife or the husband happy. If the man keeps his wife happy, the wife keeps her husband happy in a nice circle, life is going to be better. You work at a job. Who's the talent? Your boss, your customer. Keep the boss/customer happy, and your job is a better thing. Simple. This one is absolute paramount right here. If you keep the talent happy, you will be happier, especially if the talent reciprocates. Keep your wife happy, and your wife keeps you happy. It's a nice, loving circle of happiness. Rule number 2, got to have it. Just remember, anytime you're dealing with somebody else, just replace the word talent with that person or that group. Oh, this can work for entertainment too, y'all. If you're in Hollywood, keep the viewers happy. Have y'all thought of that one lately? Hey, politicians, here you go. Keep the American public happy. Maybe quit lying to us or setting us up for bullshit. But yeah, anything here. Keep them happy. Everything else works its way out. Rule number 3. Now, this was kind of important for certain groups over other groups, but it should be. So, hey, I'll use my I words here. I always have to come clean because I am a prankster. I love doing pranks, jokes, pranks, all of whatnot. So, why would that be so important? Well, because there's a bunch of other pranksters around me. And while I'm at work, we're always pranking. I personally make sure that as soon as the prank has come to its conclusion, I stand up, wave my hand. All right, that one was me, y'all. I always come clean. You know what? Know why that matters? Because when somebody does a horrible prank, and we have some people that ain't figured out that pranks have to be funny and harmless, and something goes wrong with it, everybody always looked at me because I'm the biggest prankster. That one won't me, y'all. I always come clean. This is really important for businesses. Politicians, holy crap. Could you imagine if all your politicians always come clean? Yes, sir. I signed on to that bill. The bill failed horribly and it's ruined the country. That was my fault. Could you imagine if they did that and then went and fixed the problem? How about Hollywood? Yeah, we made a horrible movie. We put no storyline in it whatsoever. There's plot holes in it big enough to drive my tractor trailer through. Sideways, parallel parking that bastard without touching anything. We're going to try to fix it on the next. They could get a lot more people show up for stuff like that. So rule 3, always come clean. Nice and simple. Changes life if everybody were to follow it. Woo! Let this one soak in, y'all. This one, hold on. Yeah, I'm going to just let y'all read that one nice and slow. Take your time with it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Let it resonate. Think about every situation. Just because you can send that mean tweet doesn't mean you should send that mean tweet. Just because you can walk up to that person and bother them in the store because they're not doing X thing that you personally think they should do doesn't mean you should. Just because you think you can drive, text, and watch a video at the same time doesn't mean you should. Just think how much better life as a whole could be if everybody started thinking with this rule in mind right here. Just let this one resonate into your head. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Every time you come up to an option in your life, just think through it. I can do this, but should I? I see somebody on the side of the road that needs help. I can help them. Should I? Yes. So this does go both ways. It is a should yes or should no. I see somebody pulled over on the side of the road on an interstate, 70-mile-an-hour interstate. They don't look like they're in any trouble, but they're on the side of the road. Should I run up right close to their car door when I go by at 65 miles an hour? No. You should move over to the left lane and give them just a little bit of extra room in case they open the door without looking. You know, simple stuff like that. Let this one go through your head anytime situations come up, especially when it comes to stuff that you're doing anonymous. Twitter, Facebook stuff, any social media, anything. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And your life may just get better instantly. And especially if you can get more people around you to follow this rule. And just by you doing this and explaining it to the person next to you, maybe they start doing this and they'll explain it to the next person around them, and this spreads and life gets better for the world. Now this next one, there's gonna be some people. I'm gonna sit on this one a little bit longer. Let this one sit on your head. This next one's gonna get some people worked up, and I don't care because it's truth. It's 100% truth. It's not offensive if it is true. I'm a pasty ass white guy. Am I offended by you calling me that? Nope. It's true. I'm a goofball, geeky ass bastard. Oh well, it's true. What am I going to do? Get offended by it? And there's a little switch to it. It's all honesty. It's not offensive if it's not true either. Because if it's not true, how can it be offensive? And if it is true, how can it be offensive? To be honest, to be offended is a personal choice. You have to choose to be offended. If you are offended over a joke of some sort, you are giving words and somebody else's ability to use a word power over you. You are letting somebody else control your anger. You are giving your power away if you are offended. Somebody tell me where I'm wrong. Now, of course, you see my little stars here, just like just like rule 2, that means pull this word out and replace it with other words, because there's a lot of other words you can put here. It's not offensive if it's true. It's not racist if it's true. It's not misandrist if it's true. It's not any other of these ist words if it is true. And if it ain't true, still ain't offensive, y'all. It's only offensive if you allow it to be. I've just chosen not to be offended. Then again, I grew up in a minority area where the minorities were a vast majority. Went to that school, so you can imagine, geeky little white boy in the 80s going to a school. Yeah. I either had to learn how to have thick skin, or I had to, learn how to tote many ass whoopings and tote multiple insults. I can tell y'all can just come at me with any insult you want. There's no way you can find one that's going to bother me. Just don't think you can. I don't think you can come up with one that I haven't heard at least 20 times in the last 30 years. Try me. This rule makes life better for everybody around you. If you're not offended by anything, people can't offend you. If they're up there trying to offend you, they'll just finally give up and walk away. If you cannot be offended, then they lose their power. They don't want to deal with you anymore. So the people that have your worst in their mind will go away because they can't offend you. They have no power over you. They go away. Somehow or another, this has been reversed in the last few years. Somehow or another, they have made it to where being offended is a superpower. It's not. It is the biggest weakness I've seen. If you can be that easily offended, you are weak, and not weak as in you weren't born strong. Weak as in you've taken your power in your hands of your self-control, and you've handed it to somebody and said, "Here, you can have power over my anger and thoughts. You can make me think something that I don't believe." And it's just right here. If you're offended, you've given your power away. Live by rule number 5, and your life gets easier. Like the main part here, it is not offensive if it is true. Period. Game over. It's said and done right there. Not offensive if it is true. Like I said, I'm a pasty ass, ugly, grumpy old white man. And big whoop. Let me get my offended hat on. Let me reach in my pocket and find my shocked face. Nope, I don't have one because I've heard it all before. So, yep, there we go. I did hit the right button. Look, y'all, I'm actually getting better at this stuff. All right, so that was the 5 rules as created by the great Doc Thompson. And look him up and look up some of his stuff if you're interested. Like I said, I'm sure he's got archived stuff. He was a national radio host for quite some years. I've listened to him because he started in Virginia, I do believe, or that's where I heard him first, and then went national. And then I just followed him because he was just entertaining. He could tell a story. He could keep you entertained, especially for us truckers who stuck for 10, 12 hours a day riding down the road trying to keep your mind from going explosive. He was a good dude, and he seemed to be a good friend to his friends, and he was always there for anybody that he could be there for. So look up Doc Thompson if you're interested. His last venture was Mojo 50, I do believe. They had a YouTube channel. I do not know if it's still up. I guess I could find out. But you know what? To be honest, if you're interested, you'll look it up. If you're not interested, me putting it on the screen ain't going to matter. So that's going to just about do it for me today because, well, it's Christmas and I just want to put this video out for a while. It will be going up on my Odyssey channel under the same name as this channel. So check it out there if you're more interested. And other than that, Merry Christmas, y'all. Or in my case, bah humbug, because, well, I'm grumpy. So y'all have a nice day, a happy Christmas, happy New Year, happy whatever holiday you want to go by. Or if you're not doing any holidays, just have a better day. And enjoy y'all some outros, and I will see y'all the next time around.
Please let me in.
No. Be gone with him. Hello, boys!
What in the hell was that all about?
Get off my lawn.